Hi, first graders, and welcome to Miss Everett's Ranch Read Aloud. Today is September 9th, 2020, and we are having a snow day at home, kind of. So I decided to come out and check on the horses because it's snowy and they're not used to it because a couple days ago it was like 80 degrees. And so Rufus is here, come here, bud, to read a very good snow day story with me. It's called The Mitten by Jan Brett. Don't think he was ready for the book pages. Once there was a boy named Nicky who wanted his new mittens made from wool as white as snow. At first, his grandmother, Baba, did not want to knit white mittens. If you drop one in the snow, she warned, you'll never find it. But Nicky wanted snow white mittens, and finally Baba made them. After she finished, she said, "When you come home, first I will look to see if you are safe and sound, but then I will look to see if you still have your snow white mittens." So Nicky went, and it wasn't long until one of his new mittens dropped in the snow and was left behind. Oh, geez. A mole, tired from tunneling along, discovered the mitten and burrowed inside. It was cozy and warm and just the right size, so he decided to stay. A snowshoe rabbit came hopping by. He stopped for a moment to admire his winter coat. It was then that he saw the mitten and he wiggled in, feet first. The mole didn't think there was room for both of them, but when he saw the rabbit's big kickers, he moved over. Next, a hedgehog came snuffling along. Having spent the day looking under wet leaves for things to eat, he decided to move into the mitten and warm himself. The mole and the rabbit were bumped and jostled, but not being ones to argue with someone covered with prickles, they made room. As soon as the hedgehog disappeared into the mitten, a big owl, attracted by the commotion, swooped down. When he decided to move in also, the mole, the rabbit, and the hedgehog grumbled, but when they saw the owl's glinty talons, they quickly let him in. Up through the snow appeared a badger. He eyed the mitten and began to climb in. The mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, and the owl were not pleased. There was no room left, but when they saw his diggers, they gave him the thumb. All right, come on in. It started snowing, but the animals were snug in a mitten. A waft of warm steam rose in the air, and a fox trotting by stopped to investigate. Just the sight of the cozy mitten made him feel drowsy. The fox poked his muzzle in. When the mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, the owl, and the badger saw his shiny teeth, they gave the fox lots of room. A great bear lumbered by. He spied the mitten all plumped up. Not being one to be left out in the cold, he began to nose his way in. The animals were packed in as tightly as could be, but what animal would argue with a bear? The mitten swelled and stretched. It was pulled and bulged too many times its size. But Baba's good knitting held fast. Along came a meadow mouse, no bigger than an acorn. She wriggled in the one space left and made herself comfortable on top of the great bear's nose. I like this illustration. The bear, tickled by the mouse's whiskers, gave an enormous sneeze. Achoo! The force of the sneeze shot the mitten up into the sky and scattered the animals in all directions. On his way home, Nicky saw a white shape in the distance. It was the lost mitten silhouetted against the blue sky. As he ran to catch his snow white mitten, he saw Baba's face in the window. First, she looked to see if he was safe and sound, and then she saw that he still had his new mittens. And you really have to pay attention to this illustration. All right. that's the end of the Mitten. When we return to school, I'm going to reread this book to you guys so you can really take a look at the illustrations. And there's a hidden story on each page. So if you have the chance to look it up on one of the apps I'll send to you, you might go ahead and check out the Mitten one more time. So my question for you is, do you think that maybe a horse would fit into the Mitten? Do you think that maybe 3 horses would fit into a mitten today? All right, I hope you guys have a wonderful day in a surprising snowstorm. You make snowmen, you drink hot chocolate, you hang out inside, read good books, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. All right, hi again, first graders. I like to end the Ranch Read Alouds with a fun fact about the animals. And one fact for today is that horses don't necessarily need blankets because they have their coats adjust to the weather, and so basically they have like 67 different coats, and their bodies naturally tell them that they need to have warmer fluff or less fluff, and that helps keep them warm. So although today they'd probably appreciate a blanket, they are just fine warm and toasty because they are made to be tough and live in the wild and naturally change their body temperature. So that's your fact for the day. Have a good one.